to Phoenicia Battle as our next reader. Published as PD Battle, Phoenicia is the author, is an author, DEI facilitator, digital media consultant, and community activist. Originally from Macon, Georgia, she found a powerful literary voice while attending Agnes Scott College. Her writings often reflect a fusion of her professional role as a social justice influencer and artistic creativity intended to ignite the spirit of revolution in us all. You'll also find her stoking the fire of change and equality, serving as a host and performer at community-based events such as Change.org's George Floyd Hologram Memorial Project and Music in the Park Atlanta 2022. Some of her works include her book of poetry and prose, More Than Extremes in the Space Between, and her writings was also included in Blues Arrival, Stories of the Queer Black South and Migration. Please welcome Phoenicia. You can unmute and join us.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm having horrible technical difficulties, just my luck. But I'm getting all of my information up here and hopefully you can see me well. I'm coming mobile, so let me just change over really quickly. I'm so thrilled to be here. I've done this for quite a few years now and I've loved every moment of it. And so I'm just gonna read a few brief things for everyone. And I want to thank Dr. Kwaja, who actually when I was an Agnes Scott undergrad, before I was a grad student there, Dr. Kwaja was actually my professor and inspired me so much in writing. And so I always like to try to participate and be a part of all of the amazing things that are still happening at Agnes Scott as a staff person here. So let's see. One second. I apologize. Again, I literally it wouldn't come in on computer, and so I thought, oh well, I'll just do phone. So I'm just pulling it up here. All right, so one of the things that I'm going to read today is actually a poem. The first one I'm going to read is actually my own poem that I wrote, and I wrote it initially, in my opinion, about my mom and sort of this legacy and invisible labor associated with women of color or Black women. And so it's about her and me and my sister, and it's called In Her Image. In Her Image. My sister equates long length mirrors with mandatory female must-haves, like
Having some trouble here. Oh, there.
It blinked out for a second. Okay.
Yeah, looks like you're back.
Cool. I started really quick. Sorry. My sister equates long length mirrors with mandatory female must-haves, like earrings in public, quality bras, and other lady life hacks that would mold us into the spitting image of Mama. I am granddaughter of Mary and Joseph, and Mama is their firstborn. Of her 5 children, I was the 4th stigmata, nailing her to crippling martyrdom. It must have been a foot one, crooked as mine are, bending to the brink, spent, crawling as if she had not already paid. Pricelessness is the hammer, and worthlessness is the excuse for leaving royalty in cavalry ditches, scraping at freedom, sliding down murky bootstrap opportunities, and swinging from geometric nightmares. We have forsaken faith because there are no homages to bridges or to tattered shoes that cover us, always taking the brunt of ordered steps. Our journey swaddled with strips of ancestors until skin is just mummified strands of DNA. So no matter how many memorials are torn down, the thorny lashes are still whipping the overcome right out of me, until all that's left is the resilience that comes with calling and a savior no one ever notices, full-bodied reflections of sacrifice. I can never figure out how to stand in. Okay, so that was Inner Image, and I'm just going to read one other small thing. I've been listening all day today and really been inspired by everything that I've heard from everyone. And so um, I've been working on something. I actually was inspired by, there are a couple of things that all sort of came down at once. So there is the essay that many would be familiar with by Ralph Waldo Emerson, Self-Reliance, and also a paper entitled Civil Rights in Twilight, the End of the Civil Rights Movement era in 1973. And oddly enough, a pop rock song. So I'm just going to share a little bit of that as well. 1973 marked the 10-year anniversary of some of the most significant events of the Civil Rights Movement. A paper in the Journal of Black Studies titled Civil Rights in Twilight, the End of the Civil Rights Movement Era in 1973 by Christopher Paul Lehman in 2006 spoke of the idea that while some argued that movement dwindled, there were still others that affirmed this was all but true. And don't we all know too well that as a nation, we are struggling along the journey to equity, justice, and just plain old civility. Ironically, I was also inspired by the parallels in an Aerosmith album released in 1973, featuring the song Dream On, as well as an essay by Ralph Waldo Emerson, Self-Reliance. Art, poems, prose, songs, all of them are all movements, these self-contained parts of a composition designed to convey a grander, more holistic representation of hope, a vision of true becoming. So I've sort of quoted from both in the following reading and some of my own words. I don't think from here I can share it on the screen because they're actually highlighted in the colors for each, whether it's Emerson or Aerosmith. So, and that's an odd mixture. But all of it is in hopes that I offer it in hopes that 2023, the 50-year anniversary of the faux decline of what we call in the States a movement toward a more civil and just society, that there's a little bit of grace and hope there. And tentatively, I'm calling a bit of it Stay Dreaming. This part is Aerosmith from Dream On. The past is gone. Oh, it went by like dusk to dawn. Sleep and woke are peaks and valleys emerging in the landscape of geographic invisible borders, shape-shifting nation states around ley lines, simply longing for something that feels like home. Hope for a chapter that'll tell a better story, have my life in books, written pages, storing facts learned from fools and sages. I avoid the daily news for the blaspheme in its grip, for the tax, the cost, but everybody's got their dues in life to pay. Trust thyself, every heart vibrates to that iron string. Accept the place the divine providence has found for you, the society of your contemporaries, the connection of events. I do not wish to expiate, but to live. My life is for itself and not for a spectacle. So I urge you, dream on, dream on. Thank you, everyone.
Next up, we have Chandler Grant, who is a poet, writer, and activist from Goochland, Virginia. She's a freshman at Agnes College who is interested in creative writing and studies regarding race, gender, and sexuality. These interests are reflected in her writing as she highlights social issues today and calls for unity and equity across all boundaries of identity. She hopes that her writing recalls those who read or listen to turn inward, reflect on their own understandings, and consider how or if these limit them from appreciating our diverse world to its fullest. Please welcome in person, Chandler Grant.
As she said, my name is Chandler Grant, and I'm so happy to be here sharing my newest poem with you all. It's called Don't Forget Your People. I was sitting in the gazebo, and before me, I saw what I desired for my people's future. People, more complex than just a group, no, my people are everywhere. Not just Black, nor just women, nor just those who love beyond the status quo. My people are in every county, state, country, continent, geographic region. My people look like the grandma you see catering to her garden. The colored man walking down the street, bobbing his head to a sick beat. The same-sex couple who owns the bookstore across the street where the brown-skinned girl reads and plays with her curls. My people look like the little boys with all different faces, coming from different places, convening for a game in the streets. And no anxiety they face because they live in a place where they are accepted and free. And their mothers, the immigrant women who no longer have to worry or bend their backs to fit in between the cracks which no longer have to be filled. These are my people. The person you sit next to on a bus, my people. The girl who braids your hair, my people. The homeless man blowing his trumpet, my people. The transgender girl who just wants to play ball, my people. The Black man who you think looks suspicious, my people. The Black woman whose voice you are muting, my people. And the curvy girl who feels out of place, my people. I could go on. My people are everywhere. I say all of this to say, don't forget about my people. The ones who sing or rap your favorite songs. The ones who inhabit the place you went to visit last month. The ones who made the clothes on your back and the shoes on your feet. Don't forget about your people. The ones who may look or live drastically different from you, but feel and bleed and hurt the same. Don't forget about those who do your landscaping or built your building. Don't forget about those who work so that you can lay your head down at night. Think about your people. How are you making them feel? Do you turn your face up when you see something unfamiliar? Or do you think about what you know and how well it fits into the status quo? How are you living? Are you living to give others a few extra breaths, or are you taking from what they're already struggling to have? How do you think about your people? Are you decolonizing, reframing your mind, your environment? How are you acting? Are you acting so that I can step in a place and not be scolded? Are you acting so that my brother can wear his dreads and not have to worry about the feds? Are you acting so that my parents can rest and indulge in their Black love? After all, these are your people. I hope that you love your people, my people, our people. I hope that you love yourself enough to embrace the parts of you that feel like an offense to those who don't quite know their people. I hope that you are practicing your religion in a way that does not go against its own word and suppress it. I hope that we can uplift and practice what we preach so that one day this world will feel like a beach. This comfortable rocking chair in this gazebo, the sounds of the birds communicating, the pretty pink flowers before me, and the warmth of the very thing that gives them life. peace. This is what I desire for my people. Your people, our people. I hope that you love your people. Promise me you will get to know your people. Think about your people, my people.
Okay, so we're gonna move ahead then to Sana Lacore, who is a junior at Agnes College, pursuing a degree in English literature with a minor in environmental science and sustainability. Oh, no, I'm writing the wrong bio. That's the wrong one. Sana, why did I do that to you? Hopefully she'll forgive me as a former student, a little bit of grace. Sana Lacore is a class of 23, the junior, majoring in political science and sociology. And she's also fostering a growing love for reading and writing poetry. And I can tell you as a phenomenal poet, excited to have her read with us today.
Hi, I'm Sana. Yes, all that's true. Even though I won't be reading my own poem today, I'll be reading a poem by Honora Unkong. It's called "This Poem is a Hex, Tread Lightly," after Ariel Marie. Let the record show. I've arrived here by way of violence enacted upon my body. Every inch of this self-discovery, a means to reclaim some agency I once believed in. I tried to do the right thing, claim propriety over myself, but oh, how whiteness flays. And as I erupted, dark molasses flesh, let it be known, I was loud in my lament. My white woman therapist wants to know why I keep calling it violence. I become a fugitive in my own skin, retreat so far into myself, all I can hear is how you aren't allowed here because you are Black, echoing like a second heartbeat. What was said hangs over me and storms a dark cloud. Try as I might, I can no longer enter rooms without thundering an announcement. I am Black and I am a woman. Already I have been failed. This is a race thing and a gender thing and a queer thing and a fat thing. This is an immigrant thing and a thing about unbelonging. A thing about houses and towns that were built to keep me out. Institutions and Black femme bodies are pains peddled for white edification. Let this never go unsaid. I am the throat you slit open, and whatever cursed song is yeasting in my gut will come piercing through. Thank you.